This, of course, is Gamer 1745, and we're starting mostly on time. Hey, for once, that's very good. Yeah, the sound's off up there. Good, because I don't want to have feedback. All right, well, we're getting started here. Germany. Playing as Germany. Well, a little more work in getting ready before we start making the episodes. So, hello to those of you who are going to be watching a little bit later, because I don't think anybody's here right at the actual start of the biggest interesting challenges are happening here in North Africa. We're going to see how this plays out. Well, I don't know, maybe our biggest challenges are what's happening in the east. This is a mess. Mm. You know what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of these. Oh, well, wait a minute. Let me check over here. What did we give them? Oh, no, they're okay. They'll have that anyways. The next division comes online. That's the real problem here. Well, it's the real problem. Yeah, I'm not going to put any more infrastructure at the moment. Okay. Welcome back to the Collapsing Reich. Well, this is Gamer 1745 with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3's Black Ice 10.41, I believe. Was recently asked for a link for it, and I did give a link to the 10.4 something. But the latest is 10.52, I believe, if you want to get the latest version, and I would recommend that. But we're continuing this, playing as Germany, and this has been my, testing playthrough of what the hell is BICE like now, because I'm needing to mod it. But so we are in a bad situation. I do not know what to do here. It ultimately supplies are our problem. I would say manpower is a second one. But what am I going to do? Well, I've ordered our main fleet with not enough support vessels because they've been destroyed over the time. Heading here, we are building a little more destroyers, which will be useful December. We catch up. over to here. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick up a bunch of these forces. And instead of another attempt at invading down here, we may still try that someday with some of these forces. I don't know. They're going to go in and reinforce up here. We're going to pick these guys up here, and we're going to send them over to Persia, to one of these ports, to keep Persia in the war. Don't know if we can keep holding here or fall back, to something more like down here. Don't know. And try to keep Persia in on here. So that is what we are doing with that operation. We have successfully driven the Allies out of the Netherlands. We are being pushed back province by province here. We can just see that they are. We can just see here that they are coming in. Okay, well this isn't so bad. I would just see it's a lot, but maybe more units joining the fight here. Like lack of supplies here, lack of supplies here. So we just can't get any organization to be able to stop the push. Ooh, that's. I don't know. I think stability is getting better with some of the newer versions. So they keep concentrating their force and pushing us back. I was very recently asked, well, what is your plan to defeat the Soviet Union? Huh? Plan to defeat the Soviet Union? What the hell are you talking about, people? I don't have any plan to defeat the Soviet Union. I have plans to slowly lose to the Soviet Union. That's where I think it's at. And this is, I know, look, I know not everybody watches every episode. People come and go. No, I've already said this, and people, well, you're sort of cheating. I've already lost. I consider that I've lost here. This is a lost cause. This is not a, how am I going to pull out victory? No, this is just, we're playing a lost cause. So, with all the defeatist talk, I hope you're happy. Now, if you want me to continue this, got to have more and more people watch. So, you need to hit that like button. You need to watch the video fully. You, of course, need to already be subscribed. You should really comment. You can just say hi below. Say hi. Say yay, defeat, or whatever. Tell me that I suck. That's fine. Preferably if you actually mean it. Tell me why I suck. I just want to learn things. Yeah, this isn't going well. I just started this. I'm going to... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay. This is going badly already. This. I'm not going to read. I'm going to quit. Yes, screen going black. Yeah, it was sort of a crash. Or we may end this because this is getting too unstable. Definitely much more stable than the last playthrough, but I did, but still, yes, we're here. It's just black of those people that are starting to show up. Thought I'd be able to get farther. Now, before starting streaming, I had been doing a bunch of work on, ordering units about and sending stuff around, and then I saved it and restarted. And I thought that would have been, but that's without recording it and recording and broadcasting at the same time, which are two different operations here. Take up more resources, so makes things less stable. Just keep that in mind. For your possible playthroughs. Okay, so we're back here. Now, so the exciting bit is that we are seeing if we can defeat the Americans here. So let's block a little bit. They're battling up here in the Sea of Azov. You know, reading back from here. They're pushing here. They're pushing here now. Mariupol. After these guys, yeah. Nice to win somewhere, major defeat. Okay. Oh, they've defeated up here. Yeah, I don't know how long we are able to hold out here. And that they're defeating the units. Here's they're rebuilding. Have the fleet coming back around to the set, and then we may land a few more forces there. Oh, that's probably Arno showing up. Very good. I don't know why we should fear you, Arno. I know you do carry a moderator's sword, but still, I don't know why we would fear you. Hey, accounting for games. Does feel like the Soviets did get a buff in the latest version. Okay, accounting for games. Good to hear. I'm still counting for games is another YouTuber and tester. I can't quite tell what drew it in. Is another YouTuber and one of the sort of in-house testers for the Black Ice crew, and he is on my list for a multiplayer game. Now, when will that multiplayer game happen? Well, after I get TRE ready and released, and I think it's stable enough, not just TRE, but the whole thing stable enough to do. And I'm going to have him help me set this whole thing up. And we'll create a huge multiplayer. Well, I'm hoping like 6 players, 3 allies, 3 testers, though I would say that loosely. Well, beta test or something, but however you want to. He looks at some of the earlier stuff at least, than I do. Partially, I don't want to look at too early of stuff because I want to wait till it's released and then look at it in light of what I'm going to mod. So, yeah, we'll see what we do. Wait a minute, did they retreat out of here? Well, then I'm going to reoccupy this city. Well, they're going to take. Well, let them. That would be fast. These guys might be a fast race into that city. That would be nice. Yeah, check out his channel. Counting for games. I'm doing quite well. Well, thank you, but yeah, no, I like to shout out other people. He is no longer attempting to align to our faction. Maybe they're starting to realize we're not going to do so well. Okay. So they're attacking here with what they're calling 6 tank brigades. Probing, looking to see if they think they can get me. Fortunately, we do supplies. Okay, well enough. Supplies coming in. Here. Oh, we keep taking out more of their subs. Seem to build lots and lots of subs. Or have built lots of subs. Very low forces. Enough supply we might be able to hold, but I don't know. What are we doing here with the Americans? Reasonably well. All HQ city. Okay, that's fine. Pushing here, hopefully to the east before they get too heavily reinforced. Because the AI should bring in forces into the ports. Hey, Timothy! How's the drive west going? Well, for the Soviets, pretty good. They're pushing west. We're doing okay. Our westward push here has pushed them out, and we're pushing here now west. So it's here. Just not able to keep enough supplies to keep these guys going. Okay, well, we're no longer able to push here. We don't want to be cut off here. Yeah, Spain with rugged terrain, it can be painful. Big ground. New. Pushing us back here now. Okay. How fast is our fleet moving? Really quickly. Okay, good. Yeah, it's doing it 20 kilometers. We're here now. Okay, good, good, good. the city. Or, the city, they might be well there. Step by step. Don't mind Arno. He always tells everybody they should play the Netherlands. The only problem is it'll only be Arno watching, so it's not maybe the best idea. I mean, he would watch it. It's not that he wants you to play something that he wouldn't watch. He would watch, for sure. Okay, okay, so what I want to do here now is grab these two and add them to the top group there. Let's find so let's put them on these Romanians and push down to there. Hey Hoffman, how you doing today? Turkey or Romania? Yeah, I mean, it's not, you know, a bit of realism here. There's a lot of interesting countries to play. I just find some countries get more viewers than others. So and there's no point in making a series that nobody's going to watch, kind of thing. However much you may want to do that. Good to hear that you're doing well. I mean, I'm doing fine. My forces are doing abysmally, but I'm doing fine. Else left in the city. And the way I want to do this, though, just because of various testings, I haven't been following my own rules. Rules are meant to be broken, they're not laws. Is play a German campaign, and then play a different campaign, and then back to Germany, and then a different nations, and you know, so it's every other time it would be Germany. That would be the way I would want to handle this, because if I'm just doing Germany, even though for my channel at least it gets the most views, it'd be boring if I just purely repeat it. Both boring for myself and I think boring for enough of the viewers, but it generally gets the best views, so that's good. Good to hear that UK, and it was popular with my channel. My Spain video get half my UK. Yes, and it comes down to, you know, it's not necessarily trying to chase the greatest popularity, but and if you're just like so not into something, no, you shouldn't play it. But if you're into things, let's see. Let's show. We've got a lot of forces here. Okay, armored force. You drive up around here. So you need to find things that a reasonably good number of people want to watch, and mix it up a bit from there. not just play, not hunt the most views, but you don't also, like I say, the reverse. You don't want to not have any viewers. Hello, Barber Bells, butchering it. Fun his way through, sort of built around the player being Germany, making it more interesting to watch. Yes, well, Germany is the driving factor of World War II. It just is. Yes, there's the whole Pacific campaign. Yes, that's driven by the Japanese. Everybody's reacting to Germany for good or bad. We're talking history here. So everybody's reacting to Germany. Eventually, of course, Germany does get pushed into a position of reaction. They're losing the war. So I played some of these campaigns that end up being fairly long, like this one. This was meant to just be testing for a while. At that time, the newest Black Ice. But one just was going to be a short filler campaign, and I really kicked myself for not having TRE as part of it, is my Italian campaign, because TRE actually adds a lot to Italy that most players don't see, just because it's stuff for Italy that you don't notice because you're playing as Germany. And as a human player, I was able to do a lot with Italy in dealing with the Mediterranean, coming down into Africa. But once I got to fighting the Soviets, nothing that Italian that I had. Now, yeah, I could have tried to buy licenses from Germany or whatever and build some heavy anti-air units or whatever. You can tell me what maybe I could get from Germany, but as building as Italy, I could not build anything that could stand up to the Soviets. And whenever I took a province, it was often like in a joint attack with the Germans, but if it was under Italian control, the Germans would immediately retreat from that. The German AI would retreat from that province, and I couldn't hold it from any counterattacks. So I was purely at best a helper to Germany on the Soviet Union. So yeah, you're limited. I could not. Maybe somebody's better than me. I don't know. And like I say, if you do license building heavy AA from Germany or whatever, but I could not fight, and defeat the Soviet Union or contribute heavily to that. So you become an adjunct player and whatnot. So it all depends, on what you want to do. And so when I played as Japan, I stayed away from invading the Soviet Union, and I was able to defeat the American Navy and conquer, Australia and India and all that. But that, again, limited. I couldn't. America was too strong at home. I couldn't invade, the American continent. And so, yeah, regionally you can pick it up. But as Germany, you have the potential of really driving the whole game. Follow these weren't watched as much as the other stuff on my channel. And yes, accounting for games. I have about 20 plus episodes of Imperator Rome. I stopped posting them. They're made and done. That will actually hurt your channel growth. It's not just, you don't get as much on these videos. It will hurt even the stuff that does well. The YouTube algorithms. So yeah, if you're finding and another the Warhammer 40K new game out, I put up 5 videos of it. It was getting even though there's some of my long-term core viewers that were like, yes, finally gamers playing Warhammer, cool, because they're big Warhammer fans. Yeah, all 10 of them watched, and nobody else watched, and so I stopped doing it. I played on the game much more. I would have loved to put it on the channel, but nobody was watching, and so it will hurt other things. So maybe a bit more boring though, and trying to catch up limited naval options. I see limited makes them hard to do. Yes. Hey Ari, hello. I'll tease it. Yes, Italy. Do have a series on that, and we'll be back playing that. And so, for a limited, taking the Mediterranean, and yes, I again used the indirect approach to take it, meaning not bashing my head straight into the, in the Italian series, into the British, but doing some island hopping and landing in the rear and then squeezing them. That's my normal strategy. That I was able to defeat the British as the Italians, but it's difficult. Sure, have a good day. Accounting for games. The tyranny of the algorithm. Yes, exactly. Yep, that is part of the problem. So however much we may like a game, or however much, and it's not necessarily that the game does badly on YouTube, because it's the way the algorithm works. The algorithm doesn't appear to, if I do a Warhammer game, if my viewers don't watch it, my core viewers don't watch it, it doesn't recommend it to non-core viewers. But if most of my core viewers want to watch me play World War II, and only a small percentage of them want to watch me play Warhammer, it'll get very few views. So the algorithm will go, this must be junk content, let's not show it to anybody else. So even if Warhammer is really popular, Warhammer Battle Sector is the game I'm talking about. If it's really popular content on other channels, it may not, but it doesn't mean that my viewers will watch it or it will do well on my channel. So it's really weird in that way. So for whoever you're watching, whether it's me or somebody else, if you see content that you like, hit that like button, watch it. If you want to help that out, that will keep it fresh and going. Okay, Nittel got into here, which is blocking. These guys are coming down to there. Let's move in. Well, let's move in German infantry division. Rockets, artillery. Oh, we lost a sub up here. I'm not going to send them home though. I'm going to trit their subs down. Okay, so advanced armored designs. Advanced armored designs has advanced. Yay! Like the way some of these sentences, they make sense, but it just are somewhat repetitive. Need a thesaurus to figure out how to say. Good word to use other than advanced. Okay, we'll do that. And amphibious warship defenses advance. Nice. Not that, that's too far. We'll increase max speed. Yeah, we'll do that. And anybody watching on YouTube, you can hit the like button live or late as well now, and that does help to potentially draw in more people here. I'm live both on Twitch and YouTube at the same time currently. Olivia is no longer wanting to join the cause. What traitors? What traitors? Just being smart. collapse because they're just a battle being hit by almost 2 cores there, basically. Yep, they just shattered. Damn. Wish they would have retreated instead of shattering, but oh well. Okay. Another division came up here. Let's keep pushing all these guys and those guys. Get it in before the collapse, but still, those will be. And these guys now. Into the front lines. The hordes back. Okay, our main fleet has arrived. So that means we need to put on some forces that are going to where is the wrong? Get some. To some degree. No. We've got all the good units, so let's throw in a couple of these garrison forces. They can hold the rear of some line, maybe. Okay, that's probably pretty good. Bunch of forces now. Well, at least come to here. Rebase. As fast as you can. Get on. Scattered remnant forces back up there, but I don't really have much else to send. Go to here. Rebase. But I can have Finland in the war as long as possible. It keeps units away from pushing towards Berlin. Blizzard's General Winter. Now maybe General Winter will help us out. I don't know. Waterflow supply units, yes. Okay. Another infantry division, battered and radar for destroyers. That I think is over here. We'll let that continue. Okay, fine. Order place. Do we want to accept Hungary? Yeah. Winterschlacht am Osten, the Eastern Front Medal, more commonly known as Ostmedaille, was instituted in 1942. Service on the Eastern Front, Commission. Boy, they don't have a picture of the medal. But okay, well, Germany gets Barbarossa fails, which it has, until January 43. Okay. 5% organization, land supply down 10%, supply throughput down 10%. No problem. No problem, no trouble at all for us. Okay, even Napoleon was blocked by these are doubled up. Harsh winter, Russian easy winter. Okay. And for the next winter. So we could let them suffer. Combat movement, attack reinforcement, organization regain, land supply really sucks. Easy winter, harsh winter. Okay, winter effects. Or we can do equip them, equip the army. This one is consumer goods during wintertime plus 20% combat movement. Where here, I mean, I don't understand why we would pick this unless we're just purely challenging ourselves. This is like soft attack here. Okay, winter close. Soft attack is minus 5%, minus 10%. Winter effects 50. Okay, so now we want to do this. We'll take the hit in consumer goods. Don't know why we would. I get the idea of challenging yourself. I don't know why there's both. You know, this. I understand why there's the dough and equip winter, but I don't get all that. Okay, but we're gonna do easy. I think winter close easy. Now that winter close. Now, okay, we can talk about this in a moment. I think. Early October, the Legion was incorporated into the Harris Infantry Battalion. Okay, some volunteers. Yes, we'll take another Commerce, Raider, Expander, Automotive Factories. Great. So we get Stargrad. Oh, where the hell is Stargrad? Anybody know where Stargrad is by any chance? Something that's gonna. Are we? What I'm wondering is, are we building? Factories in cities that are about ready to fall. Okay. Stargard. Bander shipyards. Memel. Okay, well, at least we know Memel. That's right here. That ain't so bad. Okay, let me talk a little bit. So if all you're here is to see gameplay of me challenging and fighting off the Soviet hordes and the American invaders, they call themselves liberators, we'll call them invaders, you can leave the episode now because we're going to pick up playing at the start of the next episode, so no more playing this episode. So just me going to talk for, oh, interestingly, but we're just going to talk. Right. Just there was, and I don't know about before because God, there's so much to know about history. I am only scratching the surface of history, but I've dug fairly deep into the history of the Third Reich. by the time the Nazis were established, they were doing winter help. They would go around, and this is more common, I know, in Britain than in America, because I remember when I was living there, they would do this. People would go around with cans that had some sort of logos on them, or sort of things like we might think of as water bottles, maybe I should say, or something like that. And that, I don't know how well sealed they were, but they were fairly sealed up. But they had a slot to put in coins or to put in paper money. And they go around and shake these things and solicit money for, help the needy, help people in Africa, or whatever it might be, different causes. And you were presuming, and maybe this is just my cynicism, but because I know I wouldn't give anybody these type of things in New York City. Too many scammers. But probably these weren't, probably most of the money ended up in the charities. I don't know if these people were paid, or if these were true volunteers, but they spent a lot of time. People would go around and collect money and sort of, publicly, hey, donate to this, shake the can, go from person to person. And not necessarily, in Britain is what I'm talking about, experience. Not necessarily treat bad or say bad things about them, but, sort of public shaming and, going up to people and putting a donation can in front of their face and making them sort of wave you off to, have them go on to the next person, sort of aggressively. In America, around Christmas time, the Salvation Army and some of the other people will have people that are dressed up somewhat like Santa Claus or in their Salvation Army uniforms stand there with a kettle on a tripod and ring a bell to the Christmas shoppers going by to try to get them to donate, but a lot less aggressive, I would say. So just giving some of my experience and explanation of what I saw when I was in Britain in years past. Well, they had, before the war starts, they had a whole winter help campaign that they would do every winter. And it was very much supported by the Nazi Party. A lot of the fundraising, again, people going around with cans, with slots in them, were the Hitler Youth collecting money and for winter relief, or winter health works, or whatever it was said, however you would pronounce it in German. Maybe I don't wish to have Niagara or some of my other German viewers watching how badly I pronounce some of these things. And they would go around and collect money for relief of people in winter, because that is the harsh time in Germany. People who don't have, afford heating or need warm food or whatever. So this was already going on. I'm sort of setting the stage here. Right. Well, we did start this invasion a year late from history, so things are starting a year late. But the winter of 1941 through to 1942, December 1941, to give you that, was actually, my understanding from what we know of it, it was a particularly harsh winter in Russia. For the Russians, it was harder than a normal winter. At least that's my understanding. And the Germans were caught woefully unprepared for this winter. Winter effects were really bad. And I say that they're caught unprepared, meaning basically all German soldiers had a greatcoat, meaning some people might call it a trench coat, but it's not maybe technical. Well, that's sort of the term that the Americans got in from World War I, wearing a long coat in the trenches, kind of thing. And they're moderately heavy, but they're meant for, and I don't know how much I should say because I haven't wandered around, but they're meant for short-term exposure of winter conditions in places like Germany, short term, notice what I said there, and summer wear. Because, hey, at night, it can get sort of cold. Soldiers are outdoors at night. They're not always getting to, get in a, I don't, Americans were the ones with the sleeping bags, but get into, blankets and sleep somewhere. They're often doing night marches and trying to wrap a blanket around yourself if you don't know how to. Most soldiers don't know how to wrap a blanket around themselves. They're not taught that. They don't know how to do it. There are ways to do it, but to keep warm at night as you're marching or you're standing guard duty or whatever else. But this is, summer, spring, fall, nighttime, which is cold, but, wearing a great coat over your uniform coat, which is over your shirt, which is over your undershirt. So they would have like an undershirt, like a white collared type shirt, or a beige, can vary in the various armies. So an undershirt, a white like cotton shirt, then your wool coat, then your great coat. See the layers here. And that's good enough for a lot of seasons. But for Russia, that's like spring, summer, fall when it's cold. That isn't Russian winter clothes. Okay, so Germany goes out and fights this war with the Soviet Union. They plan on kicking the door in. This is sort of like Hitler's quote, kick the door in and the house of cards will fall down. And paraphrasing, I'm sure I'm getting it somewhat wrong, but that was sort of the sentiment a lot of people had. This is after the victory in France. So you may go, well, of course, that's what they thought, so why prepare for combat in winter? Well, see, this is what I haven't invested. I mean, I've read a bunch of books, but I haven't specifically investigated this, and I really wish I could. If I would, there are several things I would ask, but one of the practical things I would try to ask somebody fairly up in the Wehrmacht, because it's not just the army, but the army primarily. Why didn't you prepare for the Russian winter conditions? Because my understanding is they weren't even prepared for standard Russian winter conditions. And don't tell me that, well, they hadn't been in winter, they don't know how bad it was. Because they had been in winter, and what was this thing called? Oh yeah, World War I. They had, pushed fairly far into Russia after the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, and they, occupied a bunch of territory here in the east. They went through at least one winter. They know what it is. People like Rosenberg, high up in the Nazi Party, not in the army, but high up in the Nazi Party. He's born somewhere, I forget where, but somewhere, maybe Moscow, to, established German sort of colonial types in Russia. So, he's not at all accused or thought of being Russian. He was born geographically there. So they have a smattering of people that know what Russia's like. It's not like Russia's some mysterious land that they never visited before. And prior to World War I, there was lots of physical, cultural, economic exchanges going on between Russia and the German Empire. There was no real great thought at hostilities, in my opinion, between them. I don't think that there was necessarily, maybe, because there was a sort of French-Russian treaty to box Germany in, but it was not like, someday we're going to be conquering you kind of, thought. Either way. Is we may fight a war again, but we're not like existential enemies, meaning one side or the other is going to have to disappear. That's Hitler's view. That isn't the standard German's view. So they know what Russia's like. So why didn't they prepare for a Russian winter? I would really want to know that answer. And I'm not buying for a second, we were going to win in summer. Hey, Tinky, how you doing? One factor could be the abwehr. reported around 2,000 Soviet tanks in and all across Russia. I mean, to be fair, we're prepared for winter according to some of the books I've read, but due to numerous logistical issues, they weren't in place as a priority, winter coats and all. Hi, Max. Chia, that very well may be. Oh, well, they failed very hard, Tinky, the Abwehr. Oh, yeah. Everybody failed on the size and scope of Russia. That, not just the Abwehr, everybody. Nobody understood what was going on. That's a different matter. Okay. Now, Max may have the point there, but I'll get to some of this stuff here. They very well may have thought, to my understanding, most of the German winter sort of clothing options, not entirely, was mostly around adding an additional pair or two of long underwear to their outfits, and putting on things like gloves, and not going too much harsher than that. Too much more wintry. Just adding some more long underwear to the outfit, mostly. Could be wrong about that. I'm definitely not the greatest expert on it. But what happens? Okay, now I'll get back to the point. But okay, so what happens, and this sort of goes to Max's point, that they were prepared, but back in Germany, and that they had just logistical issues getting them to the front lines. That very well may happen. Very well may have happened. But where I don't really buy this entirely is that first winter, you get a huge propaganda effort on raising, getting donations of clothing. It really rolls into the and this is why I sort of started with this, the winter help effort. It's called like winter health, HELF or something in German. The winter help campaign that normally happen in winter, but they really drive for donations of clothing, particularly clothing that has furs that they're intending to remanufacture rapidly to get to the troops. Now, maybe it's all a staged affair by Goebbels to rally popular support for the war. That could be. I don't have any direct evidence of that. But it could be. I don't think so. Now, so there appears to be like an, oh shit, we need winter clothing. We need it now. Please donate. We've got to get it out to the troops. Some of it will be remanufactured rapidly. Some of it will just be sent to the troops to put on extra layers, and they can wear their uniform on the outside, kind of thing. So that tells me that either that's an entirely propaganda lie, just to drum up activity, just to get the home front active, kind of thing, or it's telling me that they don't have the physical materials. It's not like we're trying to collect money for people. We're trying to collect goods to get to the soldiers. And so, like I say, winter's on a calendar, literally a calendar schedule. You know that winter's coming, and I will buy that there are logistical problems. I will buy that there's some of that, but it doesn't. And if you and I'm not buying that we were the Germans would say, well, we were planning on winning before winter sets in. Fine, but once winter sets in, even if you've won, you're still fucking there. Yes, you may be able to go indoors and not have to spend your time out in the snow 24/7, but you're still there. You still need to be able to function there, because you were still going to be occupying it. See, that's the idea that you were going to like defeat the Soviets in 1941 by, September or whatever, or October or something like that, and then turn around and go home, just doesn't buy it. So this is what I just don't get. And it's not just clothing. It's antifreeze. People knew what antifreeze was. Antifreeze wasn't some miracle that they came up with later on. They knew what antifreeze was. But now, unlike modern antifreezes that we put in our cars, they're also anti-overheating element. We call them antifreeze, but because they have other chemicals in them, they keep the boiling temperature of water higher, I guess you would say it, so it doesn't boil so fast. So, but by adding alcohol or whatever to water, they didn't plan on it. So, and what is Tinky saying here? Okay, today's winter clothing in Germany is, in fact, I think in fact maybe means another layer of pressed wool and stuff. Looks a bit marshmallow man beneath parkas. That's normal soldier wear, maybe, right? So that's not enough for Russian. Even nowadays, you need a whole new set, like Arctic warfare kits. Exactly, Tinky, on such a large scale. That's what I mean. And I don't. And Max, who's over on YouTube, Tinky's on Twitch. I hope that's part of the reason I read them. So whoever knows what's being on both services knows what's being said. I don't think there was. What is it, 5 million men or whatever the German army was that invades the Soviet Union. I don't think there's 5 million sets of Arctic clothing sitting in German warehouses. And they just don't get them to the front in time. And so what happens, and this is we're all talking about Russian winter here. There's a massive calamity that happens in the counteroffensive, as it's sort of called, if you will. The Germans get to somewhere around here to the point that, at least in theory, hey Martin, good to have you here, that they're at least in theory able to sort of see the spires of Moscow. I don't know if that's quite true or that just propaganda at the time, but they get damn close. And then winter sets in. And it freezes, yes, but it freezes most military movement by the Germans. It doesn't apparently freeze rail movement. I'm not saying rail movement is flowing easy because, well, one, in early stages, there's not, to my understanding, lots of snow. Not that there isn't any snow, but there isn't lots of snow. It's more just there's enough snow out there, but the railways that are functioning, and the Germans are doing, and this is another whole thing, is why didn't the Germans better plan railway improvements? But that's another whole story. They're flowing a certain amount of ammunition, certain amounts of supplies to the front. That is happening. Not enough, not well planned, but they're doing it. The catastrophe that comes, and it's a little while after the freeze sets in, is the Russian offensive. And it is not, as I was taught as young, and you watch the great series, I highly recommend it, The World at War, narrated by Laurence Olivier, or Sir Laurence Olivier. Great series, but we know more than they knew back then, including particularly the ultra secret wasn't known. But still, it's a great series. I'm doing very good, Martin. Thank you. It is not the forces that were preparing for possible Japanese attack getting rushed over here and attacking. Though it does have one. Now, there are definitely people that were from here that got moved. And particular one was Zhukov, eventually Marshal Zhukov, or however you pronounce his name. And he had been the main general back over here. And I'm sure there's a lot of key personnel, but really the T-34s that come busting out of the snow are really an army that was sort of back in this area, starting to train up prior to the German invasion. That gets moved forward. It's not quite the Far East Army is shifted over here, but it is an army that was back here that gets shifted to the front. And what happens is a catastrophe for Germany. I don't think most people understand how big of a catastrophe it was for Germany, because it doesn't quite look like, which was more of an Italian catastrophe, but the Tunisian catastrophe or the Stalingrad catastrophe, because most of the soldiers get out of it. And so sort of picture this. It's gotten cold enough. The front lines are frozen into place. The German army has done what it can to winterize itself, meaning build shelters, take over housing that's along the front lines. What happens to the people that live there that got kicked out of it? And I don't think in most cases it's more than them just being kicked out, or maybe they're living there too and just sort of becoming servants to the German soldiers occupying their homes, but they're sort of dug in. And they're trying their best to stay functional with their summer weight clothing. And there definitely is an idea of German winter weight clothing, the army like we talked about, that was trying to be brought to the front, and there is some logistical elements to it, but like as Tinky was saying, it's the winter clothing that Germany had wasn't the Arctic type clothing they needed to have. I'm just watching for a girlfriend to get online to celebrate. Oh, well, very good, Martin. Got a girlfriend for 1 month. Very good. Hope it lasts. Unless she's crazy, then I hope you get out before it goes too bad. But either way, if she's a good one, I hope it lasts and I hope it goes well. So they're trying to, stay out of the weather. And they also, this is another part of the element, is they stabled up their horses. And are part of what the trains are running around are trying to keep horse feed, because remember, the German army moves primarily by rails and horses, and it's the combination. It's rails and horses. That's how the German army moves. It is only the very limited sort of panzer and motorized divisions that move by internal combustion engine. The trucks. Everybody else moves by horses and rails, because their food is initially, or ammunition or whatever, is moved by rails to a railhead, and then from there by horses to the front line, however far that is. Now, probably most divisions had a few Kubelwagons. They had a few trucks, but the division doesn't move around all of its, the field kitchens are towed by horses for the most part. The companies have company wagons or platoon wagons. It's mostly, most of the logistics is horses, with sort of emergency logistics and a few reconnaissance jeeps, and the division commander, and he has a Kubelwagen, and you get the sort of picture. There's a few trucks and Kubelwagens in every division, probably. I can't swear to every division, but they're around, and there's a fairly well. Good, you're very similar. Very good. Does she play Hearts of Iron? And, do you guys fight over who gets to play as Germany when you battle each other? Sort of a joke, because I wouldn't expect so. I know Tinky's here, but that's a rare one. And hey, thanks for following. So, it's mostly horses. But they've had to stable up these horses because these are German horses, not Russian horses. And horses get sort of, it's a combination of breeding and previous experience in the horse's life as to how thick the winter coat will be. Okay, horses that live in Southern California in the warm won't grow a thick winter coat. If you take them to a wintry place like Montana and they have, stables, they'll do okay. And as the next year sort of starts rolling around, they might do a little bit better winter coat. And then like the third year, they'll do a very good winter coat because they'll have got acclimatized to that they need to grow a winter coat. It doesn't just happen. And so the German horses won't have had Russian winter coats, how thick their coats will be. So they're stabilized. So the catastrophe that what happens is not that the German armed forces are destroyed, is they don't have any antifreeze in their trucks, their tanks, their Kubelwagons. Their horses are not acclimatized to Russian winters. And so when this counteroffensive happens, the Germans lose so much equipment and so many horses too. So many horses get pulled out of their stabling, their winter stabling, and are used to death to withdraw. And so it cripples. So we don't play, but I would if we had a PC. We rarely argue about anything. Well, very good, Martin. Very good to hear. I'm just teasing a bit. I hope you understand. I do wish everything well for you. So the horse numbers are devastated. It's not like all the horses die, but so many of them do. And there's actually the Soviets capture a bunch of Panzer IIIs. I think mostly in the winter counteroffensive, and most of them, I think they captured just because the Germans abandoned them. I don't know how much of an attempt they do to try to wreck them, but they're just sort of abandoned. I think because the engine's frozen up, and there's a bunch of angry Russians coming at us. We're out of here, and they leave them. And so much so that the Soviets get them, and they go, we've got all these Panzer IIIs. Well, a lot of them have 37 millimeter guns on them still. Some of them have on the sort of shorter 50 millimeter guns. The Soviets don't really like these guns. They don't produce ammunition for them, though they probably captured fairly large numbers of supplies of them, just because in the fleeing. So the Soviets pull the turrets off and stick they sort of create tall stugs, if you will, with them. And I it's probably less than 100 of them that they do this to, but it's enough that there's a whole class of vehicles of them that they get. Well, hope you can get a good computer sometime, and they're getting expensive. I know that, Martin. Wish you well on that quest. So they capture so much equipment, so particularly these Panzer IIIs, they turn them into, and they mount 76 millimeter guns on them. Well, eventually the Germans capture or recapture, however you want to say it, one or two of these vehicles, and they stick German cupolas on top of them as sort of standard, and use them against the Soviets, still mounting the Soviet guns. So these get captured by the Soviets, reworked by the Soviets, and then get captured by the Germans, get reworked, and then sent back to fight the Soviets. But so the Germans have a devastating loss here. Their horses are gutted, numbers. Their vehicles are gutted. So much artillery, other equipment is just left behind. And so you get units that are still, they're not just panicking soldiers. Well, they are in some cases, but it's not just necessarily like a huge panicking soldiers fleeing for their lives. These are still coherent military units, but they've had to abandon so much equipment. Now, the only saving grace is that a lot of the equipment that they abandon is equipment that is becoming less and less useful. Now, that's sort of like trying to find what's good about this turd on the floor. that it doesn't smell too bad. It's still a turd on the floor because, you know, if you're abandoning like 37 millimeter anti-tank guns, and what you really need are like 50 millimeter and 75 millimeter anti-tank guns, well, yeah, you're going to get them replaced, but still, you would rather, if nothing else, you would rather send those old anti-tank guns back to be scrapped to reuse the steel. So it's not like it's really good, but just sort of that's the only thing. Didn't some die? Oh, absolutely. A lot of them died of frostbite. A lot of them lost toes and other things. No, it is a catastrophe. It just isn't like units for the most part. It isn't like, you know, the Stalingrad in which all those units are just gone. They reconstitute them just by, oh, we had a depot company back in Germany of the, let's say, 5th Panzer Division or some number. And so you see, we still have the 5th Panzer Division. See, we got troops from the 5th Panzer Division, but they're just all these guys that are back here that were in the home depot, and then they rebuild a new Panzer Division. So instead of having it called the 50th Panzer Division, they're just calling it the 5th and trying to pretend that it never got totally destroyed in the Stalingrad pocket. And there are some pockets that are smaller that do. So this is a catastrophe that happens that the Soviets were able to do. The Soviets, you know, are, you know, it's to the point that to get the vehicles to run, they have to set fires under the engines of the vehicles, not only to unfreeze the water. Oh, and part of the problem is that if you let water in radiators and whatever freeze, they'll destroy the radiators because the ice expands and it pops them. But they also need to light fires under them to get the engine oil soft enough, because it's an effectively freezing, to be able to allow the engine to turn over. So and if you're in the middle of a surprise attack, you don't have the time to start a fire under your tank engine to get it heated up enough to get the tank out of there and get it started. Now, once you get it started and rolling, it can sort of kind of work. But the thing with the horses is no matter your industrial base. Oh, absolutely. I'm going to call you Rarbar. I'm sorry, names. Yeah, you know, it's like people. They're faster to replace because it takes about at least a year to get a horse that's probably workable. More likely 2 years to get good replacement horses. So you can't just turn them on and, you know, run them factory, pump them out. So you've destroyed a major element of your transportation element, and I'm sure there's a lot of horses that make it out, but there's so many that don't. And so this is just a catastrophe. And so this is why first, don't plan on hopes. Nations should never make plans on hopes. You should never make plans that you hope the Taliban will be nice this time. You never make plans that you hope your puppet government in Afghanistan or Vietnam or wherever is going to last for quite a while. You never make national plans on that. You make plans on, well, as soon as we leave, our puppet government's going to collapse, and the enemy of the puppet government is going to be really, really nasty. So what do? You plan for that. Now, you may hope for the best and say, hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And so why didn't they have a better antifreeze solution. Now, and you may tell me, and it is true that, especially in some deep hearts of Russia, that it can get so cold that it's even too cold for any antifreeze. So they keep the vehicles that they plan on using in the winter inside so they can heat them up at first and then turn them on and get them on and running, which generates enough heat. And then they go out and drive them around. But then and if they go somewhere and stop somewhere, they leave the engine running, idling, because if they turn it off too long, it'll just freeze up entirely. Yeah, okay, there are extreme conditions that are just too much, absolutely. But if they were that extreme, the Soviet T-34s wouldn't be rolling. You get the point? Hey, Lawless, good to have you here. So you get the point that if it was too bad that nothing works, then the Soviets couldn't be doing the offensive. But it's not so bad that the Soviet soldiers can't go out and play in the snow 24/7, because you don't just, you may stop at night, but you didn't carry a whole log cabin, and there isn't time enough necessarily to make, igloos or snow igloos or whatever. You're sleeping out of doors. You may or may not be able. I don't know how you even would set up a tent in the snow. You may be able to. And I'm talking in 1940, which is different than a modern sort of pop-up tent. I don't even know how you would do a tent in the snow. So you're probably sleeping outside in the snow, on your offensive, because you're only sleeping for a few hours. So you're bundled up in your clothing, and that your marching clothing. You're sleeping in that. You're existing in this environment. Your trucks are moving in this environment, even if there's just a few trucks. Your horses, even if there's just a few, they're operating in this environment. And we know there were lots of T-34s and some KV-1s that were part of this counteroffensive, so they were obviously driving around. Right, we know this. So if the Soviets could do this, the Soviets, to the best of my knowledge, had no secret technologies in any of these areas, to the best of my knowledge. They had no secret antifreeze that the Germans didn't know about. They had no, they were just prepared for a Russian winter. The Germans weren't. I can't imagine that if I'm the German High Command and I'm sitting around in 1938, 1939, and there's like some sort of talk that we may go into war with Poland, and that may draw us into war with Russia. And I do sometimes, Soviet Union, but war in the East, war in Russia. Not just war with the Soviet Union, but war in the East. That you wouldn't be going, hey, German High Command. Now, you don't have to bother the Fuhrer. None of this has to get to the Fuhrer. This isn't like you got to go talk to Hitler. This is, what are we planning for Russian what are we planning for a campaign if we get into war with the Soviets? What's our plans? Let's draw them up. And then, not where to attack, but winter clothing, antifreeze. What do we do about all these things? And then you get warehouses of clothing. I just don't see enough of this being prepared, and it appears again to me that a lot of this stuff is done preparing for 1942's winter. And they get ready for it. Honestly, the German industry failed the military. Looking at the tank guns alone, the Army requested early as 36. Lubricants may be the least of their problems. Yeah, that's true, Max. But they're different problems. Okay, they're different problems. And they're, to the best of my knowledge, and I've looked into it, it wasn't that they didn't have enough manpower to build 75 millimeter guns for their tanks. It's that they didn't have the industrial production, and you're talking about long-barreled ones, not the short-barreled ones that they did have. They didn't have the technical production set up properly well enough on a scale enough, because obviously they were producing artillery pieces and whatnot, but that. And it's a different, we're talking mainly about wool here. and I don't know how much wool Germany would need to import to make the clothing. And we're talking about leather for boots. It's a different problem. If we were talking about artillery pieces, anti-aircraft artillery pieces versus anti-tank gun artillery pieces, you'd have a much stronger point there, Max. And that is failing. And so you're absolutely right. The industry's failed, but it's different sets of industry. So it's more, I would say, a failure of planning than a failure of where do I want to send this guy? We'll figure it out next time. At least that's how I'm seeing this, as a failure of planning, not a failure of capabilities, because they seem to be ready for the 42 into 43 winter much better, because they're fighting in Stalingrad, but other places it doesn't seem nearly as bad. And so it just, for the life of me, and of course they've all the generals have at least read the basic outline of what happens to Napoleon. And they don't plan for it. That's just what amazes me. And I just thought of one conspiracy theory, but maybe maybe it was the plan, but they intentionally didn't do it. This is the one thing that maybe they intentionally didn't plan it, but they failed to stick to their guns, as it were. Why would they fail? Why would they fail to plan it? So that they could tell the Führer, we can't possibly attack the Soviet Union. We have no winter capability. We can't fight in the winter. Mein Führer, until we get enough winter clothing, we can't go to war. Maybe that was the plan, but the generals chickened out at the last moment. Or whatever, meaning they went to war. They just followed the Führer's orders. I don't know. Because otherwise, I can't imagine in what world you don't figure that out beforehand. At least that's my view of it all. Okay, well, we're going to end this episode here. It's gone on way too long, but I hope it was fun. Again, thank you all who made it this far. I want to thank Nils, Timothy, Toyjet for your support over on Patreon, but everybody else, just hit that like button. Really do appreciate it. See you next time for even more, more Hearts of Iron. Okay, everybody, we're going to continue here. I'm just going to grab a Coke and be right back, just doing a lot of talking, and we'll continue to make another episode here, so don't go anywhere. I'm not really, just for a moment. I'll be right back. You can look at these pretty arrows and how they're all going to crush me. Man, they probably should have done it well. Oh, somebody for Arno to deal with. Okay, so actually I'm going to not reboot my system, but restart. It's just been paused here too long. We saved the game, so I'm going to quit and restart. So yes, you're seeing a black screen, but we'll be back with something pretty to look at in just a moment. Thank you, Arno. back with nice, pretty pictures. For you to all look at. All right. Anything we want to deploy right now? No. Okay. Take a little look at our infrastructure here. That one. I'm going to be as soon as it comes out. I'm going to be playing the new Hearts of Iron 4 version with the railways and see how that looks. There was an attempt to add railways to Hearts of Iron 3, but that unfortunately got shut down because Hearts of Iron 4 was coming out real soon, and it took an extra couple of years to get Hearts of Iron 4 out, or extra year. So yeah, that didn't quite work out as one might have hoped. And I would desperately love to have sort of proper railways here. That one got deployed. We'll put a little bit there. We're leaving these totally untransportable so that hopefully the AI will send supplies around the swamp. Good ones. Good provinces. Those guys may hold there. Some of these places have gotten some infrastructure here. I don't know where it's going to flow or how well. Nope. Okay, Martin. Have a good day. Now, what we're going to do is connect here. All of these are not terribly big projects individually, but move them to the top. Hopefully, and these guys are going to deploy very soon. So that'll be good. And we have them going to Persia. Save. Here. Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continual playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3's Black Ice 10.41, and of course we're playing as Germany, and we're being pushed back severely on the by the Soviets on the Eastern Front. They're about ready to snuff out Finland, and we are killing this pocket here hopefully soon of the Allies, and then we're going to be trying to drive the Allies fully out of North Africa. Hopefully stay around for all that. Hopefully it's going to be fun, exciting, and interesting. But I want to thank Nils, Timothy, and Toyjet, as well as others for your support over on Patreon. But everybody else, if you can just hit that like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe. And if you want to really see this series continue, watch the whole episode. Even maybe even watch it twice. But the second time with the sound off, and you can minimize the screen, just sort of have it play in the background. That way, it sort of increases watch time for the video, and it sort of kind of tells the YouTube algorithm, well, this is so good, these people want to watch it twice, so I must be a good idea to show it to other people. That kind of thing really does help. So if you would do that, that would be very helpful. Now we're pushing us back up here, so we're going to send these guys up this way. They're coming in as some reinforcements. Not enough air supply. He's reaching them. These guys, I don't know how they're even still existing. They have no orders. Oh boy, do we have anybody who has? Okay, you have. Organization and strength. You guys should stop flying. I don't want to destroy my forces, but I do want to get these guys up here. Help cover our air resupply. Also, of course, shoot down enemy bombers and whatnot. Oh, Dolfo! All shot up. At least your forces are. Oh, you keep going. Yep. These guns. These guys should not. Let maybe get these guys up. There we go. Now with that done, where do I want to? Here. Air supply. And then supplies. We're attacking up here. Yes, there. And we're gonna attack up there in the city, okay. And we're gonna attack up here. Yeah, this is not being stable. There we are. Uh-oh, major defeat. Poltova. We lost. They're pushing us out here. Okay. Please. Just stepping back slowly, bit by bit. Oh shit, that is not going well. Well, I'm gonna do it again. Let's quit. I know I just saved this, so put to desktop. This is getting more and more unstable. Other than simply just trying to do more and more things. Back. Does the Russian unit? Those are conscript units. That's sort of what they call them now. Just about all units in the war are conscript units. The only major group of units that aren't conscript units are the Indian Army. They're the largest. Oh, that and the Canadian Army overseas. Canada Army, not necessarily its Navy, but its Army is purely volunteers that go overseas. They eventually do draft people, but the draftees are only required to serve in Canada and not overseas. But India is an all-volunteer army because they're colonial occupiers, and so they only but that's what these are, sort of supposedly just bad conscript units, like the idea of them. We have some, and they're meant to be, oh god, it's funny. What's this popping up? Another infantry division shattered. We, somewhere along in here, I think we have some. But those are what we have. The ones that we have are units that are, Russian volunteers that decided to serve Germany. Those are some of the people I feel the worst for. Yeah, I know they betrayed their country if you look at it as being Russians. But if you're just an anti-Soviet, I understand being an anti-Soviet, and so I get how a lot of people wouldn't like you, but still, I see their point. Okay. Another major defeat. Poltava here. We lost Poltava. No, decided winter offensive. Oh, good. They're getting a winter offensive. We have an uprising here. Fun. Well, you guys can go. Well, maybe, I don't know. But you go deal with the partisans. Come on, can't we take out these Americans? Down to their headquarters, which is a reinforced unit. It's not just an HQ force. You just want to get supplies coming through. Okay. That would be under air, I believe, and yeah, we'll let that continue. And we lost an army corps, which maybe I shouldn't have in the front line, but damn, it gets me good generals in the front line. Yeah, von Bock and his HQ. One in Iran. Okay, very good. One also up out there, very good as well. Okay, so we've taken out Iran. Why can't we come to here? Oh, we can come to here. here. Hopefully, hopefully I have enough ships to send supplies in here. Yeah, I know we lost hope. Okay, we've lost effects of agricultural giant. Damn. Let's see what the problem is here, let's this has, oh yes, fertile soil. Since we've lost this one Dan province, we've lost agricultural giant, which cuts our manpower, which we lose the 20% bonus of supplies and manpower. So that is not good. So we are in no shape to do a counteroffensive, I do not believe. Well, actually, you know, let's be a little pushy here. Okay, you strike there. You come down this way. You push up into there. You push up into there. You could. So retreat out, but I know some of these are just, yeah. Manian and whatnot, but still okay. Now they have a big, huge number. So we're going to attack with just one division that to keep them from trying to reinforce too fast into there. We're going to send that armored division that way. Looks like they're going to take it. So what we're going to do, well, we'll see. Oh, God. Okay, so they're pushing back here. No shape to push there. Okay, our reinforcements have made it to here. Let's send you over to... Okay, so what we need to do here is we want to keep them in play here. So these are some of the major areas. What we'll do here quickly is see about moving out. Singapore says good morning to you, 1 a.m. Okay, Max. Yeah. You have a good evening. Glad to have you here. Hope to see you around more often. Really do. I hope you're subscribed. I don't recognize your name, but Good to have someone from Singapore. Cool place. Here. Okay, so let's yeah, you guys come up. Best yes. Retreat back to here. Very good. Well, they're coming towards us maybe because they don't want to be too close to the Allies. I don't know. I don't see a good... You guys, I know you're weak, but go fight it there. You, oh wow, you fall back. You fall back. You get... I've now gotten some options here, but... Now, do we have any bombers around here that are in any good shape? Okay, that might... Well, we got anti-aircraft guns, but we'll still go for some ground attack. Nordost. These guys are up in here in the swamp somewhere, I think. Maybe there. I don't know, one of the places. And we can head back east. Okay. Well, they're coming after our raider here now, so you head to Spain. Oh, wait till you finish retreating. The action. You go to Spain. Rebase to there. Avoid contact, rebase to there. What does Romania want? Energy certainty. You can have all the energy you want. Okay, well now we've gotten forces here. You keep moving. Better supplied. Oh, there's somebody here. I wonder what it is. Okay. Pulse from your division shattered. Oh shit, they're cut off. Oh hell, no wonder they shattered. Okay, well, yeah, good thing we're moving forces in here. They're already here. Yep, Okay, they'll be very useful down here to try to stabilize Iran. We're killing the submarines, good. And we've lost another division. Well, maybe just move them down to here. So, nope, they've been able to move in a lot of forces, though some are falling back. Okay, it's this winter weather is just going to be too much, I think. So let's not destroy ourselves. Yeah, okay, that's ended. You have to keep that in mind. I was just hoping to get in there before they got reinforced. Go back in here. Up and used up. There we go. Yes. Really need to have heavy tank units to help you defend. Yeah, we do. You're right, Arno. You're right. We're building some, as you know. There and there. So April, springtime. Springtime we'll get some, but that's gonna be it. That's when we get more. Oh, even moving in. Hermann Goering Division didn't save that. Ah. We're just taking everything out. It's over here, I think. Or no, Sallow was, but was. Okay, well. Well, now that they're back here, oh, they came back here. So now that they're back here, what we're gonna do is SS Nord Division upgrade. Yes, we'll do this. He transfers leadership. Another. No. Okay. then, Hubert. Okay, well, I guess we'll push you up to here. Maybe we'll get you back. To Finland to help hold the capital, maybe. I don't even know if that. No, they're going to take the capital. Maybe it's not worth sending anybody back there. Well, you come down this way instead of somehow. If the capital goes, I think they go. You guys all fall. Ancient ground crew training. Yeah, okay, we'll let that continue. Somebody stole our blueprints. Oh, lovely. We took out sub. Good to get rid of those subs, but I don't know how much that's going to help in the long run. African Army recruitment has advanced. Well, nice. Don't know that that's helping us much anymore, but yeah, we'll let that continue. That gives us any more troops, I don't know. Ground control. No. Yep, it's fucked. Operation Torch. We've dealt with their interior landings. The only question really right now is how fast. And oh, that's our ship coming back. How fast is reinforcements coming into here? There are armored divisions sitting back here, and if the U.S. got a little more aggressive, we're taking a look out here. We see a bunch of units here. They're Saipan. They're attacking Japan. Looks like it's attacking from Saipan onto Tinian, and they may be retreating to Rota, but Rota doesn't have a port, and if Japan can get Tinian, that means these troops get cut off, because I don't think they can supply from Guam, which, well, Guam is currently in Japanese-held territory. Well, they got a port there, so they can be in supply, and they're getting reinforcements. They're coming up there. Okay, that's doing okay. Look in there. Okay, they've got a lot of the resources now we can see here. A lot of the oil here, a lot of the oil here. So I'm not saying like Japan has, you know, well, it doesn't have all the oil, obviously, because we can see, and I don't know why it isn't moving on some of these targets, but, and I'm not saying it has like, oh, enough oil to do whatever, but it's not, you know, starving of oil. At least it shouldn't be at this point with taking some of these. It shouldn't be starving. I'm not saying it isn't, but it shouldn't be the real question. So the U.S. should have lots of forces to send over to reinforce here. I just don't know how quickly they'll get here. And they could be just stacks of armored divisions. Okay. Lost here, they're pushing us back. Okay, well, if they're pushing us back here, now that's gonna means they're crossing the river. Okay, armored division. You come down this way. You come. No, no. Oh shit. Oh shit. Well, forced to retreat. That isn't good. I meant that these guys here. You guys come to there. Okay, this isn't doing well either. Are we here yet? No. Oh, almost here. Oh. Yeah, we're being kicked out of the Caucasus. That's what it looks to me. Okay, so we have Rommel here. He can now head up to his forces there to properly command them. We have this guy here. I brought in to be an impossible commander. Is there an HQ? First Army aid, I guess. Well, it's too far away. Don't know. But we'll get you up into here. Some light armor and other forces. Your troops are mostly up here in the Caucasus, so we'll send that way. He was meant to come down and reinforce one of the airborne units that I think shattered and went back to Berlin already. So I don't know. We've lost a lot of airborne forces now that were here, either lost or sent back. You come up that way. Get into the areas. We'll leave you waiting down there. Right. Out, so they're no longer eating supplies. From there, we'll send you up to here. So you now supply out. I got capital. Got Helsinki. I have a sinking feeling that now that Helsinki's gone, ain't gonna be good. Well, I think we're going to hit the save button here and end this episode. Last one went way too long, and we're going to keep this one sort of short here. I want to thank you all who made it this far. I really do appreciate it. Come back next time to see what's going to happen in Finland. See if we can kick the Americans out of North Africa. So I hope to see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Okay. I'm going to reboot, or not reboot, I'm going to restart this, and we'll make another episode. Oh no, I don't want to save. I want to quit. So just saved already. Don't worry, I know your screen's black. I know it's scary. Black screen, but it was intentional. So I wanted to scare you. It's Halloween. Almost. So you can see. Oh, we have 2 destroyers. So what we're going to do that we can deploy, we're going to put them down here. And when the big fleet shows up, they'll get attached to that. Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here. And as normally, we are facing a crisis. I think we won't see Finland for long. Helsinki has 6 points, which they've just lost victory points. Over here 4, and up here is 5, because they've lost 1 up there, which is just 1, and they've lost 6 there. So not going to be too long. If they can't hold here, they aren't going to have. Well, just come down there. We aren't going to have much left. So we'll see how this goes. The crisis in Finland. We're also facing a crisis down here. Iran. The Caucasus were falling back. Oh, they're just generally pushing us back along the whole of the Eastern Front as well. Okay, electronic computing machine has advanced. That's something that the Germans didn't have, to the best of my knowledge. And they're not talking about gunnery sites, because those are computers, but those are very limited computers. The US really was the only one doing development with that, and they were bringing some of that, I think, over to Britain. I know Alan Turing was working on some in Britain, but it's not much or nothing really in Germany that I know of. Okay, let's see, electronic computing. Okay, stop that. Too far in advance to continue to push. And transport holes advance. Well, well, we won over here. Nice. We lost there. Vision shattered. We're down to 44 people. Oh, we've got a lot of shattered units back here. Oh, I don't know. Well, you gotta know when it's time to go. It's time to retreat. Now here is just hills, where here's mountains, so you retreat there now. And we'll retreat into these swamps, and then we'll try to retreat across over to Kretch. Need to do a Kuban shield for the defense there. They did historically. Will we hold out here? I don't know. 88. Good little conf group. but it's not a for division. So when used right, they're great, but I just think they're getting, their winter offensive is just making them super strong. Fire that is. It's a bright spot. Maybe. No, no, don't go off it. Wall here. So, okay, aircraft prototype evaluation. Here, stop that. There we are. Okay. Ground crew training. I think we'll let that continue. Oh, hey, a major defeat. Wow, well, we won here. We lost here. What do we have here? HQ. Air supply. You stop supplying air. Yeah, you stop supplying air. That sounds right. They're just pushing us back everywhere, everywhere. The division shattered. A little. I don't know if I should keep sending units to the front because that's part of the problem. Too many units, not enough supply. Another major defeat. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you guys are... The HQ can start moving back, and the HQ can start. Oh, hey, we just had a major defeat. Getting pushed out of there. Yeah, that's a little bit what I've been worried about. Back. Just a second. Where are we sending that up? Let's grab these 2 units. Let's turn this into a motorized force, and let's remove the AT guns and put in heavy flat guns, so that hopefully now this is a better division here. Units are quality. No. Nope, nothing's really any effectiveness. Yeah. Nope, wasn't shattered. Okay. Well, guys, attack them Americans. Hey, you know, looks like we'll be in Berlin by Christmas. At least our troops will be defending Berlin by Christmas. Wow. And you know, we're really helping the Soviet Union out right now. We're building all kinds of infrastructure for them that they'll be able to use to push into us. Yeah. Yeah, that'll help a lot. Okay. They're right now sitting in the plains. They don't need to be there because the river, whatnot. So we're going to retreat into the mountains where we can. Um, okay, we won somewhere. We won here. Okay, they're falling back out. Good. I'd rather hold this mountain province. That would be nice. Over here, we're having all these somewhere along here. All these units. Some units somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. One here, very good. Okay, you're right at the front, so you come from there over to there. Hopefully before they get... Well, there's somebody there, but we'll see. That other side. Wait just a little longer, but okay. Well, I think we may lose this Romanian force here being overrun. Yep, can't hold this down here. Okay, dual purpose AA guns are advancing, very nice. That's over here, I think. 46, stop that. Advanced artillery barrel and ammunition. That I believe is here in 45, so we'll stop that. And defense, very good. That will help us with heart attack. Slows us down, but we're slowing down. Or, anyways, allows research of Panzerkeil. That is here. Okay. Panzerkeil at some point became obvious for all sides of the war. To stop armored spearheads would needed to be concentrated. Start research there. Very nice. Road networks advance. Yay! That will help us. Supply throughput. Very good. Very, very good. Need so much reinforcements if we're losing all of our forces. Yes. That should also give. Yes, you may have metal. What the got plenty of. Well, you actually have plenty of resources all around. Us here. There. Yeah. Well, they just come to here now. These guys can come to here. And hopefully we won't lose. Oh, we sent these guys forward. Okay, yeah, you guys keep coming this way. We'll come down to here to hold that, so we won't collapse too far and losing Crimea. Okay, road network advance, so national unity and organizational engagement is up. And heavy. That's nice. Just helps our heavy transports really only, but still that's better than nothing. Okay, this is getting pushed back pretty badly, obviously. Okay, guys, I know this isn't a very long episode and all, but I just got to take a break. This is just Trying to manage the collapse here is getting a bit tiring. So, yeah, I think we're going to end this here. I want to thank you all who've made it this far. I really do appreciate all of you. Well, they're strategically bombing us out here. How nice. Well, maybe ground attack. Strategic bombers. So, yeah, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. See you next time for even more, yes, more Hearts of Iron. Hopefully, well, probably not if this continues, any good news, but see you then. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I think I'm going to end it here. I'm ending a little bit early, I know. I just, quite honestly, I'm exhausted managing these withdrawals. It's a bit much to try to keep going. So thank you, everyone. Hopefully you'll want to come hang out. They're actually doing Twitch drops for War Thunder. Just a bunch of decal stuff I'm not terribly interested in. But if you want to join us tomorrow, I will be playing some War Thunder. So yeah, still on for tomorrow. I hope you are, Arno. So you guys can join us, and we'll make room for you and at least play a mission or two. Even if it's just reserved vehicles, if you want to get it, free to download game, or just hang out and watch. Either way. So we'll see you then, hopefully. And I have no idea what I'm doing for Slytherin. They're publishing the schedule Monday for next month, yeah, next weekend I should be back here. So thank you, everyone. See you then.